like Dr. So-and-so? I happen to need a dentist, would you recommend them? So if you're not on social media, not engaging people and getting them to like you, their friends in the future who are in need of your service, who are going to be using graph search instead of Google search, because graph search not only helps them find that dishwasher appliance dealer, but finds the dealer that is recommended by their friends. Same thing with a restaurant. Where to eat? I can blindly ask the concierge, but he's probably getting kickback from places. So I've eaten at enough places that concierges are recommended to know they're not always the best. But chances are, if my friends like a place, it's going to be good. So I picked someone who I know has a similar taste to me. I've got now the service that I want with the social recommendation from a friend of mine. Other things you can do with a Facebook page, create a request appointment form, referrals, post those happy 5-star referrals. Do I need an entire new regular website for my smartphone? I don't think so. Your regular web page presence is fine. But I think having a smartphone interface like this one is a great idea. When people go to your office regular website on a smartphone, they're not looking to read detailed articles on a tiny screen. This is the information they want to know. They want to know, they're lost, they want to find your office, so they want to call you to make an appointment or tell you they're running late, or maybe they want to send an email or write a review on social media. How do we do a formal ad campaign? Want to do a formal ad campaign to generate more patients? We can use the demographic tools of Facebook in this manner. Create my little ad here. If having your teeth coming out is unbecoming to you, you should be coming to us for dental implants. A potential reach here of 158 million people. All the dentists in New York, I probably don't need to advertise to everyone in New York. So let me narrow it down. First, where am I going to send them when they click on the ad? That's another important consideration. If you've got that great page on your website that no one's going to, an ad on Facebook is a way to generate traffic to your regular website. You spent the money. If you did spend the money for it, you may as well get it there. But I do one better. I create a free implant page on my Facebook page. And I don't know any programming. All you have to do is know how to use Microsoft Word, basic word processing, cut and paste, little text, a couple of pictures giving them the gist. I don't want to over-inundate them with information here. Show a few select cases. And then on the bottom, if they like what they see, let them link to that request an appointment form, which I already showed you, or go back to my Facebook page and read a little more about it. If someone sees an ad of mine, I've got a few possible things that'll happen. They'll ignore the ad. They'll click on the ad, in which case they'll come here, and I might get a new patient out of it. Or they might not become a new patient yet, but they might like the page. Well, guess what? If they like the page, I now have entree to 300 to 500 new friends. More people that I can potentially get word-of-mouth recommendations on because they like me. Now someone actually calls that person who's not an actual patient and says, would you recommend the doctor? And they say, well, I actually don't use them. But a lot of times they bypass that step and they'll just, you're building word-of-mouth reputation for your practice. Going back here, we can concentrate our target using zip codes. We can use age restrictions. We can use gender restrictions if we want to really be conservative with our ad budget. Women make all those decisions on medical care. 63% of all medical appointments made by women. Since this is an implant campaign, I targeted age 45 and up. I don't have to, but I think I got more bang for my marketing buck. Now I got it down to 58,000 people in these zip codes. And now I limit, this is a key one, again, I limit this campaign to people who are means they have an interest in it. And the only people who are ever going to see my ad are people who are friends of people who already like me. So I know that those people are going to see in that body of the ad, they're going to see, that's a sample ad, that they're going to see that their friend's name embedded there likes Edward Zuckerberg BBS. So now we'll quickly summarize this by discussing 10 things that you need to do to get people to like you on Facebook. Again, photos. We already discussed this. It's very visual. Facebook and the internet is very visual, so you need to engage with photos wherever possible. Okay? Especially the cover photo, very important. You have a unique chance to tell people things about your practice that they won't necessarily find out from a visit. They won't find out if you're doing humanitarian or charity work. They won't find out about some background about your staff members. They won't find out a lot of information. Especially if you're using digital x-rays and you don't have 8 minutes to schmooze with them every day regarding while you're waiting for the x-ray to come in. Tell them you're on Facebook. Get signage, print up signs. You can beg if you want to, but nothing wrong with begging, but I think that you need to incentivize them to like your page. Hence, check-in promotions. You've got something, think of something you want to give away. Offices I know are giving away mini iPads, you know, they're having little contests for check-ins, people who check in. You want to give away a Sonicare or an electric toothbrush. Be as creative as you want to be. Get people to incentivize them liking and checking you in. Here's a unique concept. You can actually create free Wi-Fi in your business, but in order to get the free Wi-Fi, they've got to first go onto a login page where they have to like your office on Facebook first. Spotlight.com is a website that lets you create this unique sign for your Facebook page where you can frame it and put it in the office, and then anyone with a smartphone can just scan the QR code. It takes them right to your office Facebook page on Facebook. However, we can't make it any easier for them to like you. That's spotlight.com. And when you do get people that comment on your Facebook page, on your posts, respond to them. You've got a live one there. They're engaging with you. Let them know that there's someone on the other end who reads the stuff and answers it. And their voice is being heard. Respond to everyone, even if they're just complimenting on what you do. Even a thank you or shucks or anything. Respond to anyone who makes a comment. If you've got to have a text-based post that's not heavily laid on pictures, keep it to 140 characters or less. If it's longer than that, it probably belongs in a blog, and then your post can be something like, here's a link to my blog on XYZ topic. Don't flood them with tons of text in an update. So it's got to be valuable. It's got to be worthwhile. If it's not worthwhile, it's not going to get into their newsfeeds. Already mentioned community involvement. I've been so impressed going around the country and the world at seeing all the great work dentists do, and a lot of times for people who can't afford the care. In April, I saw the great work that Malo Clinic does in Portugal with their doing a pro bono case every month, and I was just floored by it. And that's not only great for the business, but it's, you know, the word of mouth and the free press and publicity and the chance to get your message out there about the kind of stuff you do is invaluable. So let everybody know, wherever you've got print advertising anywhere, it be an email signature, stamped envelopes, letterheads if you're still using them, if you're still using the yellow page ads, wherever you've got your name, your office name and address, you should also have your website URL and your Facebook page URL. And if you don't already have a Facebook page URL, get it. Facebook gives it for free. In my case, we've got painlessdrz.com is my website, and facebook.com/painlessdrz is my Facebook URL. And in the office, things you could also do to promote the fact that you're on Facebook. You know, these likable thumbs, people love to see themselves on the internet. It's the old equivalent of the newspapers. And Betty's going to go home, and what's Betty going to do? The first thing she's going to do is she's going to share this on her page. Free publicity for your office. Get one patient to put one satisfied patient to get their picture taken every day with a thumb. Feature them as the most likable patient of the day. And I'm happy to take any questions that anyone had. I know it's been a long day and everybody wants to get on to the next thing. Yes? There was a microphone.
It's like overwhelmingly positive nature of healthcare. You don't always have positive interactions with patients. How do you handle that if there's a...
Say it again.
Well, the nature of healthcare is you don't always have positive interactions with
Right,
patients.
right.
How do you handle advice about negative publicity?
How do we handle negative publicity? So, Facebook gives you the option to actually delete a post, but that should be the last resort. If a particular post is obscene, you know, uses expletives or something like that, you want that out of there right away. And you also have the ability to ban that user so that they can never post again on your page. But a lot of times, a negative post is actually a cry from a patient who's had an unfortunate experience, but they're not gone yet. They're giving your office a chance to make things right. I know we had an incident where a patient who was on a very busy schedule had to wait a half an hour, 40 minutes. I know a lot of offices that may be routine. In my office, we strive to see every patient on time, certainly no later than 10 minutes. And when we do, it's with an apology. And so I looked at what happened that day when I saw this patient's angry post, and I asked my receptionist, and she said that, she reminded me that was the day that we had an 8-year-old boy had an accident at school, and he completely avulsed his maxillary central incisor. And so I remembered that, and so I decided to answer the post and apologize to the patient that he wasn't kept in the loop about what happened in our office that day. But I explained to him that we had one of those rare dental emergencies that absolutely couldn't wait. You know, there was, we all know the success rate of reimplanting an avulsed tooth is proportional to how quickly we can get that tooth back into the socket. And so an amazing thing happened. I started getting replies from other patients. You know, sometimes if you don't have feedback, if you're not writing content that's geared at getting direct feedback, so I like to try and ask questions sometimes, you don't know who out there is really reading the stuff that's on Facebook. But in this case, I had 5 to 10, a thread of different people commenting. People saying things like, I've been going to Dr. Zuckerberg for 25 years, and I've never had to wait more than 5 or 10 minutes at any one time. Other people writing, wow, you can actually put back a tooth that completely came out of someone's mouth. So by addressing it head on and letting your network of people get involved in the situation, you're showing that you hear their complaint. You have a public venue to apologize if there was indeed an error. And here the error was that the patient was not explained to, by the receptionist why the reason for the delay. And in this case, we took advantage of the base of our users that read about the post to actually turn a negative post into a positive. You can't always do that. You do it on a case-by-case basis. Anything